School is back, and Dick's Sporting Goods has what you need to win your year. We've got everything from cleats to Sambas, dunks, and more. Plus, the hottest looks from Nike, Jordan, and Adidas. Find your first day fits in-store or online at dicks.com.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
It's the most magical time of the year, and I'm not talking about Christmas. I'm talking about the NFL season. So make sure you're ready with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV. Get the most live NFL games all in one place. Right now, you can save $85 when you bundle NFL Sunday Ticket with YouTube TV. Sign up today at youtubetv.com/Spotify. Device and content restrictions apply. Discount applied to first 4 months of YouTube TV, then $72.99 a month. Ends August 29th. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. No refunds.
Thanks for choosing this free Anfield Index podcast. If you'd prefer to listen to this or any of our other shows without adverts, then now's the time to check out Anfield Index Pro. With AI Pro, you can supercharge your entire listening experience. You'll not only get all of our podcasts without the ads, but you'll have them far faster with our Quick Publish feature available exclusively for subscribers. AI Pro also puts you in the heart of our sound studio, with an option to listen to many of our shows live and interact with the podcasters in real time as the shows are recording. Upgrading couldn't be easier. AI Pro is available on all popular podcast platforms. Just head on over to AnfieldIndexPro.com and get started today.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. And on Sunday, the 18th of August, welcome to this episode of the Daily Red podcast, ladies and gents. I'm Dave Davis coming to you from a quite nice, mild's the word I'd probably use, just outside of Edinburgh, and a bit thick-headed, to be honest, because I enjoyed the game at the pub. And who didn't enjoy yesterday's game? Let's be completely honest. If you have not watched Ryan Gravenberch's driving run and pass, if you have not watched that first goal where Salah squares it beautifully for Jota to finish high into the net, if you've not watched the second goal, the interchange between Szoboszlai and Salah and his finish, if you've not watched the Trent cross that Jota should bury, to be honest, an absolute thing of beauty, if you've not watched the scintillating team move that leads to Diaz lifting it over, which would have been a goal, the season contender in the opening Saturday game, if you've not watched all these things 7,642 times again, are you really a Liverpool fan? That is probably something to ask yourself. We've all been on content download, anything and everything. It was unbelievable yesterday, wasn't it? Could have been different, because the first half was not the most impressive, was it? To be honest, it needed half time. And we'll talk about what the manager said afterwards, what he told us he did, all those types of things. But what a second half. What a second half. And the Reds were top of the league for a little bit, weren't they? But 3 points, a brilliant second half. What more could you ask for? We're going to proper rewind on this, ladies and gents, for the Daily Red, because before we even played this game, obviously the team news came out. It comes out now an hour and 15 before, doesn't it? So we got the team, no real surprises, maybe Robbo. For Tsimikas, the only thing that people might be surprised of, because you were thinking back to that Sevilla game. But Joe Gomez wasn't in the squad, was he? Joe Gomez was not in the squad. And then Paul Joyce's exclusive kind of came out really pretty quick after that, saying he was exploring his options, reading here, before the transfer window closes. Newcastle United, Aston Villa, Fulham, Chelsea and clubs abroad have all shown interest in the England international. There's no guarantee that he leaves Anfield at the end of the month. Instead, his admission is a result of what's been described as grown-up discussions between the player and Liverpool, who are not forcing the 27-year-old out. So this has finally happened, and kudos to Sam Maguire on this. He had it earlier, didn't he, in the summer, that and I like the way Paul Joyce phrased it, grown-up discussions, that Joe Gomez is not the type, he's a brilliant character to force create anything like that. However, as per Sam Maguire's exclusive, he was looking to move further down south or towards somewhere where he would be a starter. And you've got to be honest on this. I don't blame him whatsoever. If he does go, he goes with everyone's, regards. He really does. And you have to look at the picture and get it. I saw quite a few bits on social media that it was a negative thing. Joe Gomez is now Liverpool's third choice right back behind Trent and Bradley. Third choice left back. I know Beck's set to go to QPR, isn't he? But quite clear as slot season behind Robbo and Tsimikas. And if you're honest, probably fourth choice centre back, I believe, behind BBD, Ibu, and Kwanzaa. 27 years old, back in the England squad, probably wants to stay there naturally. London boy, all those types of things. And I'm not saying it just has to be London because you look at the clubs that are named as well, but probably thinking ideally a move down south, as Sam Maguire said in his exclusive, and a chance to play regular football. Also, it could just be good business. If it's 45 million, as he mooted in some parts, that would be great. Other side to this is I'd love us to be clever with it. I'm not saying this will happen. I'm probably just trying to manifest this, but I'd love to see if Palace, do sell Mark Gahey, go and put Gomez under their noses and see if you can sniff out Adam Wharton while you're there for some sort of deal. Would be sensational, wouldn't it? That would be my manifestation of the summer. We said Newcastle. You do wonder, don't you? Paul Joyce wrote about it again. Or could he be used as some sort of Anthony Gordon bargaining chip? Maybe is the way to put it. That wouldn't surprise you at all. There's a few other clubs there as well, like Villa, Fulham, and Chelsea. I've not got their squad roster in front of me. Don't get me wrong, but I think Chelsea, maybe Colwell, that could be one to review. I'm speculating completely on this, by the way, but it would not surprise me if they tried. I think it'd be a good move, if you try and use it in a certain way, that way, because we could just have a lump sum of something like 45 million, but Liverpool would need a replacement, wouldn't they? So we'll have to see what happens there. An interesting one that's come in this morning for a few places. And again, we've nothing on this at all, just to be crystal clear. But Jared Branthwaite's odds of moving to Liverpool have come right down. I'm looking at Sky Bet right now. 2-1 he is now, ladies and gents. We are now the favourites if Jared Branthwaite leaves Goodison Park to sign him. Left-footed, centre, be brilliant at left back, be brilliant at left centre back, eventually, all those types of things. So it just feels like a no, and it's not going to happen. But who knows? Who knows on that? And also on the defender, an interesting one. Quite a few Wolves fans were mentioning this, and actually two of the local rags, and I've never come across the Express Star. I'm not going to pretend it's all in Wolves, but there you go. That's the local rag. Folks, in their reports mentioned a lot of noise about, and this I'm reading the tweet from Lee and Keem here, a lot of noise today about Liverpool and Rayan A. Nori, but Wolves will not entertain a departure this summer. They consider him not for sale. Interesting, eh? Defenders maybe things getting linked. I mean, A. Nori's name's been mentioned by quite a few journos a lot of times or been asked about, so it wouldn't surprise you if there's something in it if we are, he interests us as a player. Maybe that's the right way of putting it, but we'll see if anything comes further of that one. Next story to mention, let's dive into the match. Let's dive into players, actually, and then we'll go into the match, because I always like talking about certain players, and that's what we debrief. What a day for Luis Diaz, eh? Look at this from Squawker. Only 2 Liverpool players have completed 5 or more take-ons whilst keeping 100% success rate in a Premier League game since the start of the 22-23 campaign. And that was Salah against Fulham in the 22-23 season. And yesterday, Luis Diaz, who, as the tweet says, had the ball glued to his feet. We even tweeted from our account, didn't he? Had the most dribbles, the 5, won the most duels, 8, and created the joint most chances with 3. Luis Diaz. If you think about the tale of Luis Diaz yesterday, it could have been unreal. What I mean by that is the things he did with the ball. He was a constant menace, a real threat. He was aggressive at the right times. He was sometimes even too aggressive, wasn't he, for Liverpool? But the one thing that you can't get past, and I struggled to get past it a little bit. That was dramatic almost, doesn't it? Don't get me wrong. But the missed chances yesterday. I think there's two. There was the sitter, isn't it, when it's at 0-0, where it's a sensational team move. It really is. I don't want to underestimate that. And you think he's just going to tuck it up and over, but he doesn't, does he? He lifts it right over the bar. And it is, I think a lot of people tweeted, felt like a sitter a little bit. So you don't want to sort of get on his back too much because he's playing so well. But there's always just that bit with Luis Diaz, isn't there? Like, it's the output. That's always the question. And yesterday didn't really tell us anything we didn't know. It just told us that Luis Diaz's final output, if you want, isn't what it should be, probably, or what we want it to be. If it was, it'd be, absolutely world class. There's no two ways about it. And then there's even another one, isn't he, where he's slipped in by Ryan Gravenberch, who drives forward, plays a sensational pass, and then kind of links to go around the keeper. I thought he's going to lift it, and he just goes too far. In the end, it's a misplaced cutback almost, isn't it, to Salah? It's always just those things with Luis Diaz. He's got sensational skill, but you do wonder, especially it's 27 now, 28, and it sounds like I'm down on him because he had a good game. Apart from that, I think just a lot of people will take away the sitter and selection again. Nothing we didn't know. Luis Diaz can be sensational on his day. Clinical. It's not him, is it, in that regard? But a lot to like for the stats boys as well. And he was a key part of that. I mean, that second half, 6 big chances created. And again, maybe it's not just thinking about him, but 4 big chances missed. I mean, that second half as well. An XG of 2.64, 16 shots, 5 on target, but 6 big chances. I mean, yeah, and Jota's header, that was a bad miss, wasn't it? I mean, he was great, but that header, imagine what Darwin would be getting if he'd missed that, just one of those things. But let's not get too down. So much to be happy about. Ryan Gravenberch as well. I think Ryan Gravenberch deserves a bit of a mention because he had, in large parts, a great game. I think the whole team struggled in the first half, it's important to say, and he was maybe just trying to be aggressive, but maybe giving away a few fouls, and the whole team was struggling to really get into the game, I think it's fair to say, in the first half. But he, along with everyone else, brilliant second half. As we said, there was that driving run for the pass to Diaz, absolutely brilliant. No two ways about it. Made some good blocks, good on the ball. And if you look at the team goals, not that he's playing the key pass or the killer pass, but it's going through him a lot, isn't it? There was so much to like about Ryan Gravenberch yesterday. There really was. I mean, he plays a part in the clean sheet, which I think is absolutely brilliant. I mean, we only kept 4 clean sheets last season away, and we've got 1 already. It sounds like it's being dramatic, but I don't think it's wrong to hype that a little bit. Honestly, I'm so pleased by that. I genuinely am. And also, I look at Ryan Gravenberch and thought, I don't know, it's a stat show. 1 half his duels, 6 out of 12, 8 defensive actions, and he wasn't dribbled past. And continuously, the one thing I'd say about Ryan Gravenberch yesterday, progressed the ball so well, didn't he? It's interesting, Arne Slot said afterwards that when he was asked about him and his performance, he said, so I was paused for a moment. He's been so direct, and we'll talk about him a bit more. Ryan's very attack-minded, but if we get the right players around him, they can help him as well. And it was interesting, that comment for me, because it almost says that, yeah, he's being honest, he's not a natural 6, but he's doing a job, and he did a job very, very well. It also indicates, I think Slot still wants a 6 it, and we all want a 6 it, don't get me wrong, but you sometimes listening to what the manager says, because there's been a lot of talk about Zubimendi or no one, hasn't there?
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Kroger worth it every time. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Honda. When you test drive the all-new Prologue EV, there's a lot that can impress you about it. There's the class-leading passenger space, the clean, thoughtful design, and the intuitive technology. But out of everything, what you'll really love most is that it's a Honda. Visit honda.com/EV to see offers.
Want to teach your kids financial literacy, but not sure where to start? Greenlight can help. With Greenlight, parents can keep an eye on kids' spending and saving, while kids and teens use a card of their own to build money confidence. As a parent, you can send instant money transfers, set up chores, automate allowance, and more. It's a convenient way to run your household, customized to your family's needs, and the easy way to raise financially smart kids. Get started with Greenlight today and get your first month free at greenlight.com/Spotify.
Maybe you could be reading too much into it, but those were Slot's words, and you just get the impression you would very much be looking for a sit still, even with the Zubi situation. But Ryan Gravenberch, a lot to like. Dominic Szoboszlai talked afterwards as well about how good it was, how hard the team are working. There's a lot to be pleased about, but also talked about how we got a lot wrong first half, which I really liked as well. I think there was an acknowledgement from the team, from the players, from everyone, that the first half we weren't really at it, were we? It wasn't there as a team, but the second half, absolutely sensational. I'll jump a bit from the game, actually. We'll mix it up, because I'm going to wax lyrical about one player shortly. But Harvey Blair, David Lynch's exclusive today, is apparently for sale. Interesting, a lot of people are deriding this, but I don't really see the big issue in the nicest way. Looked okay pre-season. Breaking into the first team in the forward positions is the hardest position to do it. Zero doubt about it. So the standard's got to be really high from any player to start with. And they've had a good look probably at Harvey Blair and thought, if a permanent offer comes in, they will do it. And, we heard it with Ben Doak as well. The standard at Liverpool is superbly high. There's nothing wrong with that. You do almost feel like you have to be the level of a Kwanzaa, the level of a Bradley to have a shot at breaking. And even they're not guaranteed, are they? Yes, they're very much part of the first team squad, but they're not starters either. So when things like the Harvey Blair, the Bobby Clark, it all feels entangled in one a bit, doesn't it? Ben Doak shouts come in. I think you have to look at it in terms of not every player is going to make it at Liverpool. And if we operate on a smart business model, if you do sell these players on for a profit, such as, the nature of the game, as it were. So I don't see that as bad for Harvey Blair if he does move on. Good luck to the kid. However, this man yesterday, Mo Salah, I mean, it's almost like, what can you say about Mo Salah? The records just tumble. I mean, everyone knows that's 9 times he scored on the opening day of the season now. That is a Premier League record. Absolutely sensational. That's also 32 games in the Premier League with a goal and assist. The only other person who's done it more is Rooney with 35. Only thing to mention is Wayne Rooney's took 491 games to get there. So Salah's got a long way to still go, hasn't he? And it would not surprise you if that record comes tumbling. Another one. I mean, 300 goal contributions now in 350 games for the Reds. 212 goals, 88 assists. Absolutely sensational. Even Robbo talked about him yesterday to say, afterwards, Lewis Steele did an article on it in Daily Mail, it's well worth a read, about how he just, gets bitter almost every season. There's almost nothing the Egyptian king can't do. There really, really isn't. I mean, Slot even talked about him as well, about how he's got many more years. well, Mr. Slot did maybe want to could try for a contract renewal. You know, who are they? Who knows what goes on behind the scenes with contracts? That's something we could talk about all day, isn't it, realistically? But the Egyptian king, brilliant at times. Not like everyone, almost not too much in the first half, but came to life. And just even that interchange with Szoboszlai for the second, absolutely brilliant. There's just so much to like. The manager, the head coach, sorry. Honestly, I don't know why people were getting bent out of shape. Quite a few commented about didn't clap the away fans. I wouldn't be surprised if someone just has a quiet word with him, shall we say, about that. But it's not a big deal. He's all business, it feels, doesn't it? Like, very, in a good way, ruthlessness. And nothing says ruthlessness more than the honest and direct manner he talked about it, didn't he? We don't need to talk about tactics if you don't win your duels. The line probably from yesterday. And Jarell Quansah was not happy on the bench, was he, when the second one went in? And understandably, but the manager or the head coach has shown his hand. Like, if he doesn't feel it's right, there will be no sort of egos or anything, to consider. It will be changed. Full stop. And if you feel was it the right thing to do? I don't think anyone does think everyone knows it was. But look at the first half versus the second. Look at the impact that Ibu made, didn't he? He was winning headers. He was being aggressive. He looked really good when he came on as well, whether, Jarell likes that or not. We were so much better with Ibu there. And maybe, from my feeling, I look at those centre-halves, and I would personally, you could have Canate ahead of Quansah, but Quansah's earned the shirt pre-season. You've got to keep that in mind. Also, you might think horses for courses against the top team. Maybe you would have Canate there, or tough away games like yesterday. Maybe at home, if you need to break a team down against the Drossmore, that's where Quansah might come in with his ability to drive a bit more with the ball and his passing. Who knows? But yeah, I didn't mind that ruthlessness. He showed it already in the lineups, didn't he? No Gomez, no Van der Berg, all those players that have been clearly linked with exits, be it like Doak, Perm, and loan potentially as well. None of them were in there at all. Told its all own story. I genuinely just don't mind that whatsoever. The only negative for me, and you seem to be limping on the bench. I hope it might just be like a bit of, tiredness, cramp, whatever at the end, because it's the first game of the season. And I never like ragging on players, and this isn't about ragging on a player, but I think Robbo really struggled yesterday. Now, just to be clear, because people get sensitive over Robbo, I understand why. Huge fan of what he's done, an absolute club legend, sensational buy for £8 million. There's nothing you couldn't, you can't really, in the overall context, be critical of Robbo at all. He's been an absolutely sensational player for us. But when I look at yesterday, you just wondered, I think a lot of people, and I've been honest and said I'd like a new left back this summer. There's a lot of links to, as I mentioned, Nori before and others, be it a left back, centre back, a hybrid, someone who can play both. However, I think everyone wanted a reinforcement in there. And I don't think yesterday changed anyone's minds about the reinforcement, did it? Let's be honest, that we want a DM and a left back, and anything after then may be nice to have, be a bonus, it'd be great, but those are the two positions we've got to fill. And you saw that yesterday, didn't you? And I think left back was glaring for me. Robbo really struggled. Literally, it almost let the ball bounce a few times, and then underhit passes. I mean, that one where he plays it into Gravenberch is so underhit. It's a hospital ball, as we used to say. Plays it in, and you see that Hutchinson comes through, gets the yellow, but Robbo plays the pass where almost he's making Gravenberch have to put his body there and take the whack. It's just, that's a silly pass. It really is. Even that one where he kind of half intercepted it, and then because he doesn't have a right foot, it allows the player to go onto it, and he gives a foul away. He gave a foul, that one where it was on the right wing for the Ipswich player as well, didn't he? When you're like, why are you letting it bounce? He's going nowhere as well, Robbo. Why are you giving a foul there? And if you think about that, it led to the Greaves header, didn't it, that Alisson has to save. And they're a big team, Ipswich. You were thinking constantly, don't give silly set pieces away in those situations. And Robbo gave a few. I thought, on the ball and off the ball, he was pretty poor for me yesterday. And interestingly, as the team went up a level second half, I think he was better, but that's because I thought he was pretty bad in the first half. Around average, I would say, in the second. And listen, I would love nothing more than Robbo to ram the words down everyone's throats. Nothing more. And it's sensational, and we see almost the old Robbo. There's just, like yesterday, again, left more questions than answers, didn't it, around Andy Robertson. And it will be interesting to see if someone who can play on the left side of defence, whether, as you say, that's a left back, like the likes of Ainori who've been linked with, or if it's a left back, centre back, whoever that may be. Yeah. Interestingly as well, Tsimikas, if you think he's played all pre-season because of Robbo's injuries, fitness issues, all that type of thing, and he still didn't start yesterday. To me as well, that also sent a message to him to say, well, if you can't get in ahead of a half-fit Robbo, who is not playing the best, maybe tells its own story. I mean, almost a revealing ahead of the transfer show. Tell you it now, what we're, bit of info that me and Trev got, that very much Tsimikas has been almost touted round a lot. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see anyway what happens there. But, yeah, that was the only probably negative for me. At the end of the day, the big positives are 6 big chances created in that second half. Some sensational team moves. No doubts about it. And a player that didn't get missed, but I think it's right to call it out. And Sam Maguire put it brilliantly in a tweet today, that we've almost become numb to Trent Alexander-Arnold and that crossing ability. I mean, there's a succession of shots, there's blocks, it comes out to Trent, and he delivers a delicious ball in, doesn't he? Which Jota should really bury. He's unmarked pretty much on the edge of that 6-yard box, and he heads it wide. But what a cross it was. Even for the goal, the first goal, the pass for Salah, absolutely perfect way, so we could just take it one touch and knock it to Jota. He was involved in so much. Even that one where there's the interchange, isn't there, with Szoboszlai, little flick, Trent drives the midfielder, puts it beautifully into Salah, and then hits it straight at the goalkeeper. On another day, Trent Alexander-Arnold has a hat-trick of assists. He really does. He was brilliant yesterday. And I know others will grab the headlines for obvious reasons and what happened and the things that are going on, but let's not underestimate just how good Trent Alexander-Arnold was yesterday. Please sign the contract. Please sign the contract. Please sign the contract. That would be sensational, wouldn't it? We'll see, though, what happens on that. I mean, you all have your content, and there was so much for AI subscribers yesterday. There's post-match Raw to listen to if you've not. The gents were all there sharing their thoughts in positive mood. David Lynch did his thoughts on our David Lynch podcast, and that's out. Coming tonight as well, ladies and gents, there's a Sunday Premier League review. So I know Nina will be leading some of the gents in that as well. We'll be wrapping up the action, discussing the thoughts from the Premier League. So that's a brand new show coming out tonight, Sunday. So keep your ears peeled and your eyes peeled for that one. Absolutely sensational. To be fair, whenever we win, you always feel like this. There's some great articles out there from various sites. There's post-match pie from, no, I was thinking of something else then, actually. Yeah, post-match pie, from the TAW boys that they, you see how bad multitasker I should be trying to do 2 things at once, to be honest. So that's worth a listen if you're subscribed to that. This is Anfield I'm looking at here. It's got some really good articles. I like some of their 5 key talking points. Plenty of content, plenty of things to download. Tomorrow, we'll have things as well. We'll have the normal Media Matters with David Lynch. So here to talk the weekend, talk transfers. It's an interesting weekend now, isn't it? Or a few days ahead, because you're thinking, it's a week now till Brentford. Get moving. Richard Hughes, this is your week now, haven't you? Arne Slot's delivered. Now Richard Hughes deliver a little bit as well. If you're going to sell Gomez, get that done quickly. If you're going to bring a defender in, get that done quickly. A cheeky contract renewal for one of the big 3. That wouldn't hurt either as well, would it? There's a lot of feel good, isn't there? Maybe they're saving it till close to the Brentford day, but that's my wish. probably manifesting that as well, like an Adam Morton style transfer. Who knows? But there is so much, ladies and gents, to be positive about with the Reds. Didn't even really mention some other players as well, did I? Like, Giget's ignored as well. Van Dijk's couple of diagonal balls. Even for that second goal, the diagonal to Salah is sensational, isn't it? Conor Bradley came on and did it. You could go through so many players. The important thing to also say is the decision around Quansah was the right thing to do. It bore out, it proved that. Doesn't mean Jarell Quansah's become bad. It was just maybe the nature of the team. So, he's still in contention for the next game. It shouldn't knock him too much. I didn't mind the fact he looked pissed off, to be honest, on the bench. Players should look pissed off when they're brought off at half-time, frustrated. You want your players to be angry and gutted to be coming off. Didn't mind that at all. I don't know why people are making out that thing as well about we didn't celebrate the second goal. Pissed off as a player. Don't mind it. We won. We won 2-0. We created 6 big chances second half. So many of our players were great yesterday in the second half, especially. There were so many things to be positive of. Let's hope in the coming week we're able to be the same on transfers, contract renewals, and anything else that might come to the party. But ladies and gents, on Sunday the 18th of August, enjoy the remaining day with your family. What the fuck, you Reds?
We hope you enjoyed listening to this Anfield Index show. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel so future podcasts find their way to your device automatically. There's nothing quite like fan engagement, and we'd love to know what you think of anything discussed on this show. The best way to get in touch is over on our free Discord community, where both podcasters and listeners debate the hottest LFC topics 24/7. Sign up free now at AnfieldIndex.com/Discord. You won't regret it. You can also follow us on Twitter at Anfield Index and find us on Facebook by searching for Anfield Index. Oh, and before you go, we'd love it if you could leave us a 5-star review on your favourite podcast app. It only takes a couple of seconds, and it means the world to the people who create these free shows.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.